we are going to go right into the hornet's nest today. This is completely impulsive video, completely impulsive commentary. Um, I don't know how I ended up here on the MTF sub, but for those of you who know, you certainly know. And for those of you who don't, you will know very soon. I I can't believe I'm doing this. I said I wouldn't do it. But there's just too much. There's just too much in the subreddit. It's too revealing. It's almost sad, and it's worth taking a couple minutes to look at. And we'll only do it for a few minutes today. But this was the post that made me be like, okay, yep, let's get out the microphone. Um, for those of you who don't know, MTF, that's a transgender male to female subreddit. So, yeah, there you go. This post titled "Men Don't Really Want It?" says, so I was on Insta Reels and I saw a post that asked men, do you ever wish you were born a girl because it's way more fun? And everyone in the comments were all saying 100% no. A lot of misogynistic comments too, sadly. And like, how? That's literally how my trans stuff started. I thought for months that being a girl just seems more fun. And they don't. So, short, sweet, but it's indicative. It's very telling. It's when you get into these echo chambers and you can observe how these people talk, like really talk in a space where they feel comfortable talking and to people who they feel comfortable talking to about these issues, you can see what they really think. That's why it's so interesting sometimes. But I mean, they think that they know that they're preaching to the choir. So they'll say stuff like this I mean, and it reveals way much more than they actually even realize. But for this one, for example, it's just this person is assuming they're assuming that because they had a maybe perhaps a perverse like sexual reaction to the idea of being a girl, and that assumption carries them, and they assume that everyone sees the world that way. And I think that's what a lot of this trans stuff is about. It's just, how can you not understand, or how can you not be okay with, or how could you possibly contest the idea of me wanting to reorganize, completely redefine the definition of like biological reality? How could you not see why I want to do that and why it would be more fun to do that? And that's the thing. It's like, it's just more fun. It's unironic. They think it's just more fun. I don't want to other them, but I'm not a transgender. Spoiler. So it is and these people speak in terms of group identity. So it's a self-defined element of the conversation. Well, this is correct. Yeah, they're not trans. But it's for this person, they're also having a tough time with it. It's one of the weirdest things for me to get my head around. Like, you think it's a normal thing, but then suddenly it turns out it isn't. It's honestly so hard to comprehend, but I bet cis people feel exactly the same way. Well, there you go. It's just psychological projection. We think we had this thought, and we can't conceive of how anyone else might think differently. And that's why a lot of the conversations get shut down. There's a lot of people who don't understand this. Was, is, and forever will forever be the most difficult thing for me to comprehend. That guys don't want to and wouldn't be girls if they could, without hesitation and happily and forever. I thought 100% would. I was way wrong. I cannot understand that. My brain refuses to accept it. This is not ironic. See, again, these are these people revealing what they actually think. And it's like, how can guys not want to be a woman? How we live in a day and age where you can just um, surgically remove your genitals and maybe add a couple of them change the way you dress, practice vocal alterations. I don't know what they call that. There's a word for it. And maybe a few other aesthetic adjustments, and there you go. That's all you need to do. You can do that. Why wouldn't you? Why would you possibly not want to? That's the question this person is asking. Why would you not want to, without hesitation and happily ever after, just switch? So, in how revealing this is, it's also a little bit sad. It's also a little bit daunting. I always felt that being a man is the same as being an NPC, and that only girls get to be happy and live their lives. But that's just a natural fact of life that all men share, and definitely not something to do with me, right? Man, it really is sad. Now I understand I was always one of the girls. I just had the wrong body. When you get to this point where there's just you can say stuff like this, and then the critical mass response isn't an overwhelming like figure it out. It instead it's like yeah, me too. I don't know how anyone could possibly not want to be a woman. I don't understand it. Well, that tells you, and it demonstrates pretty clearly how these sorts of echo chambers, they just breed whatever extremist opinion, and don't get me wrong, this is an extreme opinion. This is an extreme viewpoint. And to not even pretend to play devil's advocate here, to not even pretend to be able to conceive of the biological reality that these people are pointing to in opposition of your philosophy, like to not even be able to acknowledge that is also incredibly revealing. So it's like there is a lot of mental illness here. There is a lot of there needs to be like dissenting opinion is good. Like having a devil's advocate even in spaces like this, it's good. And I understand people will say it's you. I should have a safe space. I need a space where I can go, where I can feel comfortable. And I kind of do agree with that. I think you should in principle. I think most places, no matter what, should be like safe for you to be in. But we're creating a whole nother realm here of this like per- perceived, this intangible psychological comfort zone that cannot be transgressed. And it's becoming harder and harder to define and see clearly what that is, to the point where it's like you really do have to walk on eggshells if you're in these types of situations and you're not sure where the other person stands. But circling back around to the point, it's like there should be people in here that say, hey, hold on a sec, wait, and then they point out maybe why someone might not think the exact same way you do. But there's none of that here, so that's why this thought, this type of thought festers. It really does. So maybe we'll be backing this up. Maybe not. I hope not. But there really is too many low hanging fruit here to simply ignore. Okay, but like I said, it'll be short. This is just one thing to point out in a sea of delusion. So, yep, join the Discord and I'll see you guys soon.